Welcome guys to our video. So this is our introduction. Now, before we start the story, let me tell you some trivia. Did you know the first trivia about Philippines is that the country made up of 7,641 islands. Only 2,000 of these islands are inhabited and nearly 5,000 still unnamed on global maps. The Philippines' fertile land accounts for the more than 900 species of orchids, representing 100 genera that have been found. And now guys, let's go on to our agendas today. Today you will be able to understand the story of Beowulf. You will be able to know what is the meaning of the story. And guys, you will be able to know the summary of the story. So here we start. Beowulf, introduction and summary. Beowulf may rightly be pronounced the great national epic of the Anglo-Saxon race, not that it exalts the race so much as that it presents the spirit of the Anglo-Saxon peoples, the ideals and aims, the manners and customs of our ancestors, and that it does so in the setting before us a great national hero. Beowulf himself was not an Anglo-Saxon. He was a Great Dane, but he belonged to that confraternity of nations that composed the Teutonic people. He lived in a heroic age when the songs of the wandering singers were of the great deeds of outstanding men. The absolute epic of the English people has yet to be written. To some extent, Arthur, through a British king, that is to say, though he was king of the Celtic British people who were subsequently driven into the west, into Cornwall and Wales and Slidell by our Saxon ancestors, became nationalized by our Anglo-Norman ancestors as a typical king of the English people. He has become the epic king of the English in the poetry of Tennyson. It is always a mystery to the writer that no competent singer among us has ever laid hands upon our own Saxon hero, King Alfred. It is sometimes said that there is nothing new under the sun, that there is nothing left for the modern singer to sing about, and that the realm of the possible musical production is fast vanishing out of view. Certainly, this is not true of poetry. Both Alfred and Arthur are waiting for the sympathetic voice that will tell forth to the world the immortal splendor of their personalities. And just as the Anglo-Normans idealized Arthur as a hero king of the English nation, true he really fought against the English, so the Saxon singer of Beowulf has idealized this Jitish chieftain, and in some way set him forth as the idealized chieftain of the Teutonic race. Beowulf is an Anglo-Saxon poem. It consists of 3,182 lines. It is written in the alliterative verse of our ancestors in the Anglo-Saxon tongue, which, though the mother tongue of the English, is yet more difficult to read for the Englishman than Latin or Greek. One wonders whether any genuine Anglo-Saxon epic existed and has been destroyed in the passing of the centuries. The curious feature about this poem is that it concerns a man who was not an Anglo-Saxon. Our poem is written in the West Saxon dialect. The original poem was probably in Northumbrian and was translated into West Saxon during the period of literary efflorescence in the West Saxon court. We do not know whether it was a translation or whether it was original. True, the latter is, I believe, the prevailing opinion. Arnold has put forth what may be called the missionary theory of its origin. He believes that both the choice of subject and the grade of culture may be connected with the missionary efforts of the English Church of those days to extend Christianity in Friesland and further east. It does not seem improbable that it was in the interest of the spread of Christianity that the composer of Beowulf, perhaps a missioner, perhaps a layman attached to the mission, was attracted to the Scandinavian lands, that he resided there long enough to become truly steeped in the folklore and local traditions that he found the grand figure of Beowulf the Git predominant in them, and the weaving into an organic wool, those which he found suitable to his own purpose. He composed an epic which, on his return home, must soon have become known to all the lovers of English song. Dr. Sarrazin, through his unknown poet, might have been the famous Saint Wolf Arnold, chiefly on stylistic grounds, differs from the opinion. This is Arnold's opinion. Sagas, either in the Danish dialect or that of the Geats, more probably the latter, were current in the Scandinavian countries in the 7th century. Among these sagas, that of Beowulf and the Geat must have had a prominent place. Others celebrated Hygelaxisangel and F the Viking, the wars of the Danes and the Hetrods of the Danes and the Swedes. About the end of the century, missionaries from England are known to have been busy in Friesland and Denmark, endeavoring to convert the natives to Christianity. Some one of these, whose mind had a turn for literature and dwelt with joy upon the traditions of the past, collected or learned by heart a number of these sagas, and taking that of Beowulf as a basis, and weaving some others into his work, composed an epic poem to which, although it contains the record of those adventures, the heroic skill of the figure who accomplishes them all imparts a real unfailing epic interest. Whatever may be the truth as to its origin, there it lies in the British Museum in its unique MS, as a testimony to all ages of the genius of the Anglo-Saxon race. Now, let us go to the summary of the story. The kingdom was left to Helfdale, who upheld the reputation of the Sidelings. Born to him were Hrothgar, Hrothgar, and Holga. Hrothgar was so renowned in the battle, for he was a great warrior. Hroth, a great mead hall covered with gold, was built in honor of the prosperity of his rule. A creature heard the reveling, the music, and the happiness of the hall. The creature was Grendel, descended from Cain, one of the giant races that had survived the Great Flood. When night fell, he went to Heorot, took 30 Thanes who were sleeping off the reveling, and brought them to his lair.